Okay, everybody, it's Sebastian here. Absolutely phenomenal, gorgeous Saturday morning here in Canada. As we can see, the sun is out in full swing. And I'm just going to turn around here in a second. I'm going to share the view with you. But I wanted to make a quick video today because I woke up and a friend of mine showed me a clip of some IG influencer, some dude who's like 6'8". I don't. He looks like a basketball player. I don't think he is, but it's a clip of him just standing outside some venue, some hotel, whatever. He's got his entourage, and a bunch of hot chicks are coming up to him, just looking at him, googly eyes, and he's just standing there. He's barely saying anything to them, and they're throwing themselves at him. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm jealous. Here's the view, by the way. I know it's sunny. You might not be able to see it that well, but let's take a look. You can see it from back here, too, maybe. Beautiful snow-capped mountains. Anyways, I saw this clip, and deep inside, I'm just feeling all knotted up. I'm thinking to myself, fuck this guy. I'm thinking to myself, why can't I have that? And don't get me wrong, it's happened on the odd occasion when I'm out and about. Not usually from the kinds of women I want. But I'm seeing this and I'm thinking to myself, well, there you go. That guy gets to live life on easy mode. He doesn't need to learn game. He doesn't need to read any books or get a coach or anything like this. He's born with the primally attractive assets that attract women without him even having to open his mouth. And you can make the argument that, okay, well, I'll bet you once he starts talking to them and they go out for dates and everything like that, in terms of having a real relationship, it's much, much more difficult, or at least not that easy. And you would be right to an extent, but still, I'd be willing to bet that even in your past, in high school, college, whatever, you probably knew a handful of guys who had a similar kind of set of characteristics, set of blessings, where the guy was dumb as a doorknob. The guy had no redeeming qualities whatsoever. He was just tall, he was good looking, and even though women complained about him or what have you, he still got plenty of chicks. It got me thinking, man, people have told me I'm intelligent. I know I'm fairly well spoken. I can conduct myself well and professionally and everything. But even then, it's like, who cares? And I was starting to mope about, get real upset, and think, what's even the point? Why do I bother reading all these books? Why do I bother trying to start a business and learn all these different skills and all this kind of crap? And then I thought to myself, well, that's kind of a defeatist attitude, because I'm not that guy. And you're probably not that guy either. Many guys are not that guy. We're not born into the genetic lottery in that sense. Now, you can also make the argument that, hey, if you've got a good family, if you're at least decent looking, if you're from a Western country, and you guys know I'm not PC at all on here, so I say a bunch of stuff that might be racist, but if you're white, then you got a set of pretty good advantages right out the gate there, So ultimately, it's like, what are you going to do with what you have? Are you just going to mope about? Are you just going to get upset and angry and let that ruin your day? Or are you going to say, well, I'm not that guy. I don't have that set of skills and characteristics or whatever, but I'm not going to let that prevent me from living the kind of life that I want to live. And not going to let that prevent me from getting the kinds of women I want, getting the business and everything. I'm going to take what I have and I'm going to make it work. Because, like, what's the alternative? You're just going to be a defeatist, right? Hey, Merry Christmas. Because it's like, so many guys end up like that, unfortunately. And they go down this rabbit hole of red pill, black pill, and what do they have to show for it? Where are they? What led to all of that, right? It was probably something similar, or worse, it probably happened in person. You knew someone, you were out partying, you were in school, what have you, and you observed that, like I mentioned earlier, one of these guys who just happened to luck out genetically at the time, he's getting all this attention, he's getting all this success without having to lift a finger, seemingly. You're thinking to yourself, oh, what's the fucking point? Or maybe you got angry and you started to go down this rabbit hole and read all this material, watch all these videos, and where are you? So let's look at solutions. Let's think of, okay, well, what can we do? How can we solve this problem? Well, you have to look internally, you have to look at what you've got. What are the resources that are available to you? What can you take steps to improve today, immediately, to get some wins under your belt? Many will say, okay, well, looks, money, status. And that has its place. If you're not in shape, go get in shape. First and foremost, probably the simplest, easiest thing you could possibly do. Go out and get in shape. Lose the belly. Put some muscle on your frame. Doesn't mean you have to take steroids or anything too crazy, but just put some effort into it. Look like you're actually in shape, fit, all that good stuff. I'm just gonna post up here, and I've been walking a lot. And then make a list, note it down. What else can you do? What can you do to put yourself in a better position? If you're young, you've got energy, you've got some time, especially if you've got some money behind you, you can still change a lot. You don't have to be 6'5", 6'8". You don't have to be an IG influencer. None of that. You can still make massive strides ahead, and in some of the most unexpected ways too. I was thinking about this the other day. Probably the number one shortcut, number one gateway to making massive progress in life in a very short amount of time is just knowing the right people. And you may not like it, but it's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's not just sometimes, that's all the time. That is all the time. Think about it. If you knew the right person today who would be willing to buy a service or a product that you can provide them with and pay a lot of money for it, you would make a lot of money. Or if you knew the person who could connect you to distributors or give you access to insider knowledge for online marketing and sales, you would make a lot of money very, very quickly without having to spend months and months and years of trial and error trying to figure it out yourself. If you knew a person who was constantly throwing parties in the city that you're closest to, in downtown, and was inviting or connected to some really high status people, chances are they'd also be bringing along a lot of good-looking young chicks. And just by knowing that one person, you're getting plugged in, you're getting connected. So obviously it's quite oversimplified just for the sake of this video, but who can you get connected to that can help you make that great leap forward instead of just having to slog it out on your own? So anyways, I want to make this video somewhat uplifting. I don't want to just be a negative Nancy and keep droning on and on about stuff that we've already covered many, many times, that you've probably already seen many, many times, black pill, red pill, all this crap. Solutions. Solutions are the important thing, because ultimately you can watch dozens of hours worth of the black pill or red pill content, and it will not do anything for you until you get real with yourself. You take a moment to sit down and note what advantages you have, what you can use, what your position in life is, strategize, and take action and implement. That's how it is.